Here I have an Atari 5200 with a controller port wired to a breadboard. The pins normally connected to the start button are shorted together so that the game immediately restarts. The controller has a 500K potentiometer, but we've replaced that here with a simple transistor. The transistor can be turned on, off, or anything in between, simulating the original potentiometer. By increasing and decreasing the current into the base of the transistor can be made more or less conductive, allowing smooth motion at any speed depending on the position of this smaller 10K potentiometer. The goal here isn't to replace a large potentiometer with a small one, but to isolate the input impedance from the output impedance. Here, the simulated 500K potentiometer can be controlled by a lower impedance signal. This does not have to be a potentiometer. Again, this can be any pulse width modulated signal, such as the output pin of a microcontroller. Here I have a PS2 trackball wired to a breadboard. On this breadboard is a AT-Tiny 84, which is connected through a serial port to my PC. As the trackball spins, position values are updated and sent over the serial port. This test setup just has the start button pressed down along with the fire button, so it starts into the game immediately. Motion is not as smooth as I would like it to be, but it's already easier for me to use than the original joystick, although the original joystick is about as horrible as it could have been. One thing that was really difficult for me to do with the other joystick would be to move up just a little bit, because there's lots of times where there's a centipede here and then a segment's coming back up and you have to go vertically between them, and smooth vertical motion was very difficult, but that's very easy right here. Left and right, I feel I have a little bit too much inertia, and that is just because every time the trackball moves, it increments and decrements counters. And depending on the value of that counter, it will nudge the joystick either a small or large amount. So I think the large amount doesn't count down fast enough, so there's a little bit of, it seems to be inertia on the player object. I can probably tweak that out, but even so, it's still much better than the original joystick. And I also feel like my motions are too fast. I can turn down the sensitivity of this trackball just by dividing the counts by some constant number, probably divide by 2 or 4, and it'll probably have the right sensitivity. Quick update, I got the parameters a little smoother and easier to control. I don't have to be quite so, steady with the hand. You can actually move it around a little bit. I basically decreased the sensitivity for fast motions by half, but for small motions I still stay really sensitive. But there's 2 weeks left in the Retro Challenge, so I need to lock down how I want the software to be. I have to solder this onto a permanent circuit board and house it in a box along with all the other parts, because for games like Pac-Man, I'm going to want to use this, not a trackball. So I got 2 weeks left. So wish me luck, and good luck to everyone else.